Hey you, welcome back. My name is Jake, and today you must be here to learn about some more possible a-holes. Well, I'll provide the stories, you sit back and enjoy yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get on with the tear.
This story by Yang Chen Davis. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents they shouldn't have adopted an ethnic child? I, 17 male, am Asian, South Korean to be specific. I am a senior in high school, and since I was a child, my adoptive parents, who are white, would always put money into an account for me and told me it was for college. Since I'm a senior now, I brought up the money as I was discussing the college I wanted to attend. They looked at each other and told me the actual purpose of the money wasn't about college. I asked what it was for, and then they told me that they were saving the money so I could get surgery. I asked surgery for what? And they said double eyelid surgery. I asked them why they would save money for something like that, and they told me that they assumed I'd want it because they studied Asian culture, and many Asians get eyelid surgery. I asked again, why would they save the money for something like that? And they were like, we just explained to you why. I told them that made me feel incredibly bad about myself and to keep their stupid money. They called me ungrateful and went on about how they were trying to do something nice for me and I couldn't accept it because I'm sensitive. My mum told me that if I don't want to become more handsome, then I could just say that instead of fighting about this topic because it's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal, then why did you save up money to get in surgery? And once more, with that more handsome comment, I started to feel bad about myself again. I lost my temper and told them they shouldn't have ever been allowed to adopt a child of a different race, and they were taken back by that statement. My dad said, "We gave you a better life for no reason because you're not even grateful for having a family." I feel really bad for what I said. I didn't mean to hurt their feelings at all. I know many Asians get surgery to alter their eyes, and they didn't have any ill intentions. I don't know why I took it that way. Probably because they came across as if you were inferior as a human. Like you are ugly and will not be attractive enough unless you get double eye surgery. Honestly, if you brought this up to them or maybe have expressed a lot of times in your childhood that you felt you weren't good enough, then I can understand them offering this to you as an option. But for them to have just assumed, based on a generalization of Eastern culture. Okay, look, I'm not going to completely assume they're complete outright racists. Honestly, if they were, why the hell would they have adopted you? But they are definitely on the ignorance spectrum when it comes to, racist issues. I know I personally fall down there myself sometimes. And so I still think you are valid to have gotten upset at them. And if anything, as parents, they should have understood that your temper tantrum at them because of this was still rather justified. And I think a simple talk and conversation about this whole issue will make them better understand that that was just you reacting to this absurd situation. But yeah, if anything, I say this is more an opportunity for you to point out to them that you don't need double eyelid surgery. You're happy to be who you are. And anyone who thinks you do need double eyelid surgery could just go frick themselves. Nata, they told you it was for college. They lied to you. And I don't see why they would have. And a lot of the eyelid surgery comes from white beauty standards, that it's more attractive to have double lids because it looks Western. Their research should have told them that, and they never should have assumed you'd be all for getting eyelid surgery. There's a difference between paying for your kid's rhinoplasty because they've been begging you for years and telling your kid their college money is actually a surgery fund for a procedure they've never shown interest in and actively feel bad about. It's freaking racism! East Asia and South Korea specifically have the highest plastic surgery rates per capita. I'm assuming this is what made them think OP would want the surgery, because people from the West have ingrained the idea that looking more Eurocentric through plastic surgery makes a more visually appealing person. Your parents made the assumption that no Asians like their appearance, and everyone wants to satisfy Eurocentric beauty standards, then lied and claimed it was a college fund. As a mixed child of Asian descent, I remember so clearly how my mum would cry while telling me how lucky I was to have my dad's double eyelids, how my brothers would never be able to fit in at school because they had ugly eyes. I remember being 7 and my mum's plastic surgeon, medical purposes, poking my hair, cheekbones, and nose while telling me everything she could fix for me. My mum quickly put a stop to it, but to this day, I remember everything that was said. I avoid high-resolution pictures where people can make out all of my features in case anyone wants to point out my facial flaws. People who didn't grow up being constantly told they need XYZ surgery, such as OP's parents, will never understand what it feels like to be poked and prodded like an animal. I think their research into Asian culture consisted on watching a couple Korean dramas. Yes, the fact that they lied about it being a college fund does make me somewhat suspicious that maybe they actually knew he might be hesitant at first and were hoping, over time, that he'd start to become insecure enough to want the surgery. I'm still gonna stand by the fact that they were just really ignorant racists about it all, but I still grow suspicious as to why they weren't just upfront in the first place and checked if he genuinely wanted it. This story by Itchtoos12. Am I the a-hole for not switching apartments? I, a man, signed a lease for a room in an apartment, which neither I nor the property managers knew used to be an all-girls apartment. The property managers didn't know because these girls had been living for around 3 to 4 years, while the management team had all new staff as of about 2 years ago. One of the girls is Muslim and isn't allowed to live with a male, and would actually have to move out and find somewhere else to live if I stayed. So, they told the property manager this. The managers told me that they had another room on the same floor available to switch into, and offered a month of rent for free to compensate for any trouble. However, it turns out I had like the one room in the whole building that was like twice normal size, and the new room is much smaller by comparison. As far as property management is concerned, whether I choose to switch or not is up to me, and I am under no obligation either way. If I stay, I get to keep my larger room, but I'd be forcing the girl to have to find somewhere else to live after living here, and being friends with the other girls for years. Would I be the a-hole for not switching? I'm going to firstly point out the fact that you're not the one forcing her to move. Her religion is forcing her to move. It's her belief system that is forcing her to move. I will definitely encourage and enforce the idea that you should respect someone's belief, but only up to the point where it affects your freedom of choices in your life. This is also an issue that the property managers themselves should have been on top of. So basically, in this situation, you technically don't deserve any of the blame or hate. But I reckon those female housemates would want to disagree with that thought. Nata, this is a problem for the company to fix, not you. I'd say everyone sucks here. It seems like there was a mix-up with the organization and management, which is not your fault. This mistake shouldn't have happened. However, making someone move out of their home that they've been living in for 3 to 4 years with their friends for the sake of you having a bigger room is selfish. It is selfish, but that is a massive benefit to lose for only 1 month free rent. I would ask for several months to make it worth it. Yeah, I can see both sides. I think for me personally, it wouldn't sit right with me knowing I made someone leave their home. But I agree, definitely try and get more compensation out of them if possible, since it is their fault at the end of the day, not OP's. I would say that you're not the a-hole, but you're also shooting yourself in the foot. The remaining women probably aren't going to like you very much, and do you really want to live with roommates that hate you? Nata, you shouldn't have to make concessions for someone else's religion. Info, will your rent be reduced or increased based on the room size? No, same rent. May I propose the idea that maybe she move into that other available room? But I guess it also depends on who else would be staying in that place where he's being encouraged to move into. Regardless, I think even with all this information of people wanting to consider how your housemates would behave if you made her get kicked out, I still think you're not the a-hole. And I understand that's really just being selfish. But again, the only people really forcing her in this situation is her religious beliefs. And whether you want to abide by that person's religion is absolutely at your own discretion. I understand that may come across as me being a bit of an a-hole and not really respecting someone's religious practices, but I assure you I'm not saying that, and I don't believe that. I merely think that in this circumstance, you don't have to follow what they want you to do. This isn't like some buffet that's trying to cater to everyone's diet choices after all. This is an actual place of living. Anyway, if I do sound a bit biased, I honestly think I am in this situation. Do let me know. Maybe there's a perspective I'm not fully seeing clearly. Hey, I'm just noticing you're more than 30 seconds into the video. If you could like it, that'd be great. Thanks. This story by Papito Lift Truck. Would I be the a-hole if I moved out with my ex while in a relationship with my boyfriend? My dad pointed this out to me, and now I'm having an existential crisis. I just want to know if I'm viewing things the wrong way. So, story time. I, 20 female, dated a boy, 23, that's super reserved and sweet back when I was in high school. He was caring and loving and overall a really nice guy. But it didn't work out past the 1-year anniversary. I found out I wasn't really interested on dating anyone, and my asexuality wasn't helping me on getting the relationship further. I didn't want to hurt him, so we broke up, and later that week, since we live in the same town and see each other frequently, he came out to me as gay. He told me about how he went to the therapy to help with his insecurities and how it helped him get over me, so we stayed friends, and still are. We chat and share drawings and ideas, and we are, well, friends. So, fast forward now that I'm in college. The first year, I met this really nice group of guys, and we became friends really early. One of them was really nice and interesting to me. He's now my boyfriend. Now, I can't discuss this enough. He's sweet, caring, lovable, innocent, open, honest, the perfect man, you could say. I love him, and I won't change him in the whole world. He, however, lives in another town, and we only see each other on college. So, my boyfriend knows about this ex, and even has a joke about me turning men into gays since he is my only ex. My boyfriend doesn't have a job. He also lives with his parents, and it's looking for a way to move out and be an adult. Now, since before me entering university, I had been talking to my ex about how badly I wanted to move since I want to experience independence, and he told me he would like to as well since I got a job and would like to feel more like an adult. So, we are considering pretty seriously to be roommates and finally feel responsible for our own life, and keep it on the same town we grew up since it's a little more cheap and we know it well. I commented to my dad I may look for apartments since I was planning to move out, and when I told him it was going to be with my ex, who is gay and has no feelings for me, he told me I was being a pee-pee with my boyfriend since I don't see it that way and I would hurt him. I get what he says, and I get that he may feel threatened by a man he has never met, but I'm sure if they do, he would see that he is not someone to worry about. My boyfriend is smart and polite. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for wanting to move out with my gay ex while my boyfriend and I are still dating? Nata, but problem is easy to solve. Talk to your boyfriend about it. If he feels bad or weird about it, you have 3 options. 1, still do it and see what happens. 2, don't do it. 3, break up and do it. No a-holes here, as long as you talk to your boyfriend and keep a line of communication open. If your ex is gay, there really shouldn't be a conflict, but he may feel uneasy anyway, and it warrants talking to him before you make a decision. Nata, I'm assuming your father knows that your ex is gay, so there really shouldn't be an issue. If your boyfriend is fine with it, and you have confirmed this with him, then there really isn't an issue. If you wanted to go ask your father why he thinks this would be an a-hole move, but if you aren't really interested, just go ahead and do your own thing. Your father will learn to get over it. Yeah, overall, it seems to just be a situation where you need to just keep in contact with your boyfriend about the whole thing and confirm with him that he is comfortable with it. Hell, offer to have an outing together where they can actually meet and get to know each other. But honestly, the way you speak about your boyfriend, it sounds like he'd be really understanding and respectful of the decision. Also, unless your ex has some extremely sinister methods in play, I think there's nothing to worry about. It honestly sounds like your father's just immediately going to the defense of your boyfriend. Possibly because it's something that he's had to deal with in his own past and learnt the lesson to not trust women who go and live with their exes. Overall, I don't think you're the a-hole to do this, and I don't think you should at all feel self-conscious about it.
Why, hello there. It seems you're at the end of a video. Don't you scamper off. If you're this far in, that means you enjoyed yourself. So come on, don't be selfish. Sharing that love. Like this video. And if you'd like to be updated on my ramblings, why not subscribe as well? If there's anything you think I might have missed or made no sense at all what the hell I was thinking, Let me know. I am just one opinion after all. I do read the comments when I can. Now sometimes YouTube doesn't notify me on every comment I get, so I assure you I try to read all the comments. I love taking in your perspectives because I'm just one person. I don't know all the answers to everything. I want this to be a platform where we share ideas, so if you have something that you think I might have missed in these stories, let me know. Join me in the adventure of life. But let's wrap things up like a Christmas present. My name's been Jack, your presence has been very welcoming today, and I look forward to rambling at your face through the cosmos of the internet another time soon. Bye!